Please welcome back the CEO and Executive Director of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Tom Cochran.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have new officers, new trustees, new advisory board members, and a new president. But before we bring him out, let's thank Mayor Hillary Sheevey for her leadership. And also, we also want to thank Mayor Quentin Lucas for hosting this meeting. And I apologize for last night. When I said, let's party, God answered. But we still believe in him. Okay, so let's show you a video of this remarkable new president of ours. Please.
Mary going to be the next president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Those are rumors. Love this city, born and raised in Columbus, and really wanted to give back to this city and help take our city to the next level. Local government's always been a passion of mine. You know, I've been a school board member, a council member, and a mayor now for 8 years. No organization has brought me greater fulfillment and connection and value than the U.S. Conference of Mayors. We oftentimes joke that this is one of the largest group therapy organizations in America, and certainly over the last couple of years, no one quite understands what it's like to be mayor except for other mayors. It's a place where you can learn from mayors from all walks of life, from all over the country, a bipartisan organization. I'm most excited about building on the great work of President Sheevey. Obviously, public safety, mental health, bipartisanship, I think is going to be real important to me and something that I want to work on in the years ahead. We're one of the last bipartisan organizations left in America, and you have to remain purposeful and intentional about that, especially in an environment where so many things are becoming more extreme, more polarized, more divided. Regardless of what happens in this presidential election, about half of America is not going to be pleased. But our job as mayors and as members of the U.S. Conference of Mayors is to continue to lead this country forward, working together and focusing on results in the people in our communities across the country.
Andy, who's your favorite mayor, right? Who takes care of you? Jane Castor. Just don't ask Barnett about that.
Mayor Ginther is a great friend and will be a tremendous leader of this organization.
He is one of those characters that you spend about 10 seconds with him and you feel like you've met your new best friend.
I am confident that you are taking those footsteps and reaching in those shoes before you, and you're gonna make it happen. And I wanna be right alongside with you.
As an Ohio mayor, I couldn't be more proud that the capital city of our state, led by you, is now leading the most important mayor's organization in the entire country.
I'm excited for your leadership. I'm excited about your passion.
Welcome to the presidency.
I think you're a great leader, and I'm honored to be able to serve with you.
I am so excited to work with you, serve as your vice president, and I know I'll pick up a few things in this year that lies ahead.
Oh, Andy, I cannot wait for this year. I'm excited about your initiatives for bipartisanship. As you know, I think it's one of the leading drivers in this country to get things done. But more than anything, we're all very, very proud of you and excited for this next year.
Mayors, I'm so excited to serve you. The future is ours. Let's go grab it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 82nd President of the United States Conference of Mayors, Mayor Andy Ginther from Columbus, Ohio.
Ayo! That was for Barnett. What a great day here in Kansas City. I got to tell you, one of the great surprises I received today was the arrival of my wife. She was with our daughter in Dallas, and they cooked up a plan to surprise me this morning. And she got up at 4 o'clock, got on a flight at 6. And Shannon, I'm just so grateful for you continuing to make all of this work a top priority. Many of you met Shannon last year in Columbus when she talked a lot about the work she's doing with the Women's Commission and all of the other great pay and gender equity work she's leading in our city. That's going to be part of our agenda in the coming year. But Shannon, please stand and let us recognize you and thank you for Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here and to be representing you as the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. But before I continue, let me commend our amazing host. Mayor Lucas hit it out of the park. And this Kansas City community has done an incredible job. They rolled out the red carpet. They welcomed us to world-class attractions. They showed us hospitality. So Mayor Lucas, thank you for such a warm welcome to your incredible city. And I also want to once again thank Mayor Sheevey for her leadership of this conference over the past year. Our organization is stronger than ever in 2024, and that's due in large part to the vision and work of Mayor Sheevey. I'm grateful for her leadership, her counsel, most importantly, our friendship. And I look forward to building on her work in the months ahead as she officially passes the baton of the presidency of this storied organization. Every summer, we as mayors come together to the annual meeting. We discuss the biggest challenges faced by America's cities. We share successes, solutions. We identify our priorities for the year ahead. Our tradition is one of coming together, of setting aside our differences, of ignoring the distance between our regions and our politics. Our organization has shown what is possible when we use our shared voice to drive progress. Now look at the accomplishments we've won together in just the past few years. America's cities are in the midst of a renaissance thanks to the American Rescue Plan. New Silicon Valleys are rising thanks to the CHIPS and Science Act. New roads are being laid and new bridges are being built thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law. New clean energy and sustainability projects are powering our climate to a healthier future thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. And fewer guns are ending up in the wrong hands thanks to the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. These game-changing initiatives weren't championed by just one party. They were championed by Republican, Democrat, and independent mayors alike. And they were secured that way too. Because what defines mayors and this organization, perhaps above anything else, is that we put solutions before partisanship. We don't have time for petty politics because people just expect us to get things done. It's an example that our friends up on Capitol Hill would be wise to follow. And it's a tradition that I will continue in my time as president of the conference. Because when we work together, when we bring more people to the table, all things are possible. And frankly, I think we need to make more room at that table. Something my grandmother always talked about. She never finished the 9th grade, but was one of the wisest women I ever knew. She came out of a holler called Raynell outside of Beckley. I know Mayor Jeff Williams knows where that is. She would always say, based on her family and the community there, you should always have an extra place at the dinner table because you'll never know who'll stop by and may need a meal. My parents instilled in me that same spirit and philosophy when I was growing up. My mom was a social worker who never met a stranger. I did not rehearse that. My dad was a Vietnam veteran and a lawyer whose practice focused heavily on helping foster parents. And they were foster parents themselves. In fact, my parents fostered nearly 50 children over 30 years. Because they knew the power of giving someone a home. They knew the power of giving someone a roof over their heads. They knew the power of hearing the words, "Welcome home." And yet today, in too many of our communities across red states and blue states, folks are being denied this basic sense of security. Our nation is facing a housing crisis. It is impacting every corner of our country, every political persuasion, every rung of the socioeconomic ladder. More than 650,000 of our neighbors are homeless. First-time home ownership is at a record low, and U.S. home prices have skyrocketed more than 40% since 2020. Mayors, I believe this must be our top priority in the year ahead. And I want to commend the work of Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, chair of our Homelessness Task Force, and Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavich, chair of our Housing and Community Development Standing Committee. They pointed the way. They laid the groundwork this past year. But as we know, there is still work to do. There are multiple dimensions to this problem. It's an issue of supply, it's an issue of financing, it's an issue of substance use and mental health, it's an issue of caring for our veterans. It's an issue of economic insecurity. And we must address the crisis at all angles. Without further delay, the next president and Congress must pass the largest and most comprehensive investment legislation in affordable housing in our country's history. It must incentivize production, help families buy their first home, end homelessness, and ensure that our first responders, teachers, and frontline healthcare workers can live where they work. They make our cities go. They protect and enhance our quality of life. And regardless of what you do for a living in our communities, you should be able to afford to live there. I believe this bill can be bipartisan, especially if our bipartisan conference leads the way. This housing crisis touches every city, so that means every congressional district. So we will need every one of you to make this critical legislation happen. Our ability to meet this moment will determine the future of our cities. And we must enlist the next Congress and administration in this work. That is why housing will be at the top of our list of an agenda for America that we will carry to both presidential and congressional candidates during the fall's elections. But we won't stop there. Gun violence affects every city. My city, early this morning, and countless other cities that are here in this room. And while homicide rates and violent crime is down dramatically in many great cities of the country, with Columbus and Fort Worth and San Diego leading the way, we know every neighborhood could be safer. Officers are doing the best to protect our communities. But they can't shoulder the burden on their own. Mayors will continue the progress we're making in reducing violent crime and addressing the proliferation of guns on our streets and tackling our police retention and recruitment challenges. Whether that may be securing the necessary resources to expand accessible and effective mental health services that our vulnerable populations receive the support they need right in their own communities, or modernizing our economy through investments in manufacturing that will create good-paying jobs, strengthen supply chains, and accelerate the industries of the future. Or combating the impact of climate change with the dedicated funding of formula grants for clean energy uses in our buildings, transportation systems, public services, and energy sources. We will be the proud voice of our cities. All of these issues will be critical in building toward a brighter future. At the same time, we must remain vigilant with our federal partners in strengthening the foundation of our cities. Stronger communities must be able to deliver clean drinking water and wastewater treatment free from harmful contaminants. Stronger communities must be able to ensure access to efficient, reliable transportation that connects residents to the essentials of life. Stronger communities must have the funding and flexibility to expand their workforce and meet their business needs to drive economic growth. Stronger communities must be able to benefit from new and fair tax policies that reflect our national needs in housing, mental health, public safety, and the environment. And stronger communities must never waver from rejecting extremism and hate in all their forms. Our cities deserve all this, and we must deliver it. We can do it together. As America's mayors, we know how important it is to make our voices heard and speak as one. Vice President Holt and I were talking just yesterday that I'm not sure there's ever been a more important time in America's history than for mayors. Right now, in this time, in this place. To be honest, brokers, truth tellers, a willingness to hear from folks with different points of view from different parts of the country, different parts of our community, seeking out those we disagree with, to focus on facts, the best practices, and what makes sense. I understand how polarized and divided and partisan the world we are in. But we're mayors, and our job is to make sure that we're focused on improving people's lives, regardless of where they were born, what they believe in, where they come from. It has never been more important than now for us as mayors to step up and lead the way and focus on building the future of this country. We know the past, the present, and the future of America runs through our cities. And it's our job as mayors to continue to build that future. You have my commitment that this tradition will continue under this new leadership team as we chart a path for progress in cities large and small, from all corners of this great country. It's incumbent upon us to make sure that we bring more people to the table, to make sure that there's always opportunity for our residents to enjoy a good quality of life, to contribute to our workforce, and to add the vibrancy of our community. Mayors, we will take this agenda for America to both conventions this summer and to the next president and Congress. And we will make our voice heard. We've got a lot of work to do, But I can't think of a more talented group in a better position to get the job done than America's mayors. I'm so excited and humbled by this opportunity to serve you. The future belongs to America's cities, and the mayors are going to build that together. I'm so excited to get to work for you. Thank you so much for all that you do, and thank you for your continued commitment and partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Thank you for attending the 92nd Annual Conference of Mayors. This meeting is adjourned.